things come together, we just like to let them find their own little place and their own little home in this area. And it's amazing how they kind of come together. And then it's fun too, day after day, to just sort of, day by day say, oh, let's just kind of change that up a little bit and see, where we want to put that the next day or the next week, or, as we change it up over time. Okay, I'm going to just add, I thought we did a lot of prep, but that's the beauty of the fairy gardens. They're a work in progress, right? You're never really done putting them together. You just continue on the journey or on the process. And I'm going to jump up here on kind of our second tier. That's why I put that camera angle over there, so you can kind of see a whole view of this massive area that we have here for our fairy garden. So I like to mix a lot of nature and organic pieces. There are some wooden items that we have from some recycled wood that actually came down from a hurricane a couple years ago here in Florida, and one of the teachers at our school worked with some wood craftsmen to carve up some of the pieces, and they were kind enough to give us some of the remnants to sort of recycle and reuse, if you will. And hey, I mean, what better place in a fairy garden to recycle and reuse wood, right? So these are some really cool pieces that we get to put in here. So first step, putting all that grass down. And I think this is probably, one of the most important steps, right? I mean, like when it comes to building anything, a foundation is going to be the most important. So we're going to start here with this big first tier. And lay it all in place. There are sheets that you can also pick up when it comes to that base for your moss, even turf. So if you live in an area that you really want to be able to weather the elements, I know we have some relatives up in Chicago that have a beautiful fairy garden, and they have to have something that is a little less organic, so in the wintertime it can stand up to the snow, and so having the turf in lieu of the moss, I think, is a great option as well if you choose to go that route. I just like the feel of the genuine moss, and in this case all dried out. Okay, so it's starting to fill in nicely, and we can kind of continue to arrange this as we go. I might end up picking up that camera so you can see some of the finer details of what we're doing here. So some of these pieces, I like to kind of open them up a little bit, let them breathe, let them settle into their own little home. Okay, so I'm going to show you some other of the items that are coming up. We also have the Believe and the Harp swing set. So I'll grab those for you. Just off the Amazon delivery, the harp and the swing set collection. And Believe, another birthday present. So this one is going to be a super fun one too. I mean, what little girl of any age wouldn't love to have that in their fairy garden? So this is going to be a beautiful one too. Okay, let's just leave it there as we're building around it. So I like to kind of press these, really kind of work them into place because they're going to be here for a while, and I like to lock them in. So one of the pieces that I picked up for this fairy garden too is a fence that's going to go around this little exterior design, and so I'll show that to you, and it's also listed, because what I found with these is you definitely want to have the right proportions and the right sizes to fit your fairy garden and to fit your space. So this one measures out perfectly to kind of go right around the exterior here. And I'm going to put that in place before I finish up the moss so that the moss can sit and butt right up next to it and help hold it in place as well. Okay, coming together nicely. I don't know if you can see it. I'm going to tilt this down a little bit. We've built a little area. There you go. We've built a little area here with these little blue pebbles. And so that's our water, sort of the look of water coming around. I love how nature has grown in place here with a little succulent that just popped up right there on its own. So how fun is that? There's the love, and there's the believe. I'll put them down there in the carousel. And then these are little pieces, little moss pieces I just put into the carousel as well that are great little additions to fill in. So this is not organic material, but it gives you that look of moss. And so those are really nice to put into corners. I like to stack them right back there. Kind of gives you a border that is sort of whimsical and really fun as well. Okay, let's keep this moving along. I feel like I could probably spend half a day just arranging the fairy grass perfectly, so I'll probably come back to some of this. Okay, let's go get some more of it. Like I said, I ordered enough to cover about 3 square feet so that I would have plenty. Because the worst thing is to run out of your grass the most time-consuming part, I think, because you really want to just have that set, just so. Okay, so we'll see how the noise level continues. Life goes on, right? It's good that people can get out and mow lawns. I have to be grateful for that, right? Okay. All right, slowly but surely. There's no rushing a fairy garden. This is just the way it comes together. All right, kind of working it out. Working it out. Looks like some of our fairy garden grass could be mowed back a little. Try to get it to settle. Some of that's just going to have to settle over time. All right. We put in a liner, by the way, I didn't talk about it, but I'm sure you saw it. And it's that black liner that is the base through all of this, just, you know, basic weed cover. And then that way, it really does keep out anything that might organically grow. And then we purposely planted this succulent here, like I said, that really has taken on a beautiful pattern and display. And then this one too, this is a real live plant. How crazy is that, right? It was about this big when we first planted it there a couple years ago, and it's really just found a home there, which is lovely. And you know, maybe it's the fairies. Maybe the fairies are keeping it up. I don't know. So I wouldn't normally pat this down and step on it, but in order to get up here and work, I kind of need to jump around a little bit. So okay, I think our upstairs area needs a little more moss. So let me grab that and fill that in. It is a beautiful day here to build a fairy garden. So when you are building yours, I wish you all the luck that you have the same fortunate, beautiful weather as well. Because part of it, I think, is the enjoyment, right? The feeling and the joy that goes into building it and putting and placing and playing. Kind of brings back for me a little bit of that, you know, playfulness that we don't always get to do as adults. And it's a great thing to spend time with the kiddos too, and you know, let them be creative with us. You know, there's a certain age. My daughter is 11, so you know, she was never into Barbies, but we, you know, didn't do that kind of thing together because she wasn't into that. But this has been a fun way for us to do an activity together that is imaginative and playful and creative and personal, and that's what I think about that. All right, looking good, coming together. So I think from here I'm going to start placing some of the bigger items. So obviously, you know, there's some detail that needs to be filled in here around the waterway. But some of the items that are in the carousel for you, like the Believe, like this beautiful little piece that says love, I want to be very purposeful about where they're going to go into the garden. So as with any layout, I think we want to just work with our big pieces and find them the homes where they belong first, and then come back and work with work with some of the smaller pieces next. I'm going to pull out some of these small little stones. Aren't those great? I don't think I put any of those in the carousel, but I'm sure you can find them here on Amazon. But they're great little pathway stones. They're great little stones to fill in, and whether you're using them in a back corner like I did here, or whether you're using them in, you know, a walkway in the front, those are really versatile. So if you're thinking about doing a fairy garden, I highly recommend looking into that. Okay, so let's look at some of our larger pieces. showed you the windmill. We're gonna have to find a place for that, and I'll bring it up here. Oh, hi Julie. Hi, thanks for tuning in. Then we have the bigger moss pieces. So just trying to navigate the chat as well. So if I miss you or you have a question, I'm glad to answer that for you. And let's see. This little home, I believe, is going to be one of the larger pieces that we want to consider as well, like where we're going to put those. So I'm going to just kind of gather some of those larger pieces in the center, so that we can decide where we want them to be. This is a fun one. This is the harp and a swing set, and I think that is in the carousel below. And here's what it looks like when you get it. It's so cool. These they're so new, I haven't even taken them out of the packaging yet, but look at that. This little swing set, isn't that fun? And what I really like about this with the swing set, oh, and the one with the harp. Let me show you that one. Okay, so this one is another box that I opened. And the one with the harp is this one. So new. It still has the packaging on it. Look at that. See that sweet little harp? And I love that they come, a lot of them, with that little stake. Let me show you this. What I mean by that is look at that, there's the harp, and then it has this little stick, and that goes right into the ground, so it actually will sit up and hold its place in the fairy garden, which I think is really cool. Isn't that pretty? So there is the harp. Put that off to the side so I don't step on it. The one rule that we have once the fairy garden is done is nobody steps in the fairy garden, except the fairies, of course. Okay, so need scissors for that one. I want to show you, because this one also has a swing set. That would be the front. Actually, it's kind of interchangeable. That's cool. The flowers are on either side. So that little swing set goes right with the harp as well, and looks great from either side, either angle, which is really neat. Okay, so those are some of our larger pieces. And you want to just start thinking about where those are going to go in the fairy garden. I'm kind of putting them over here so you can see them. If I put them behind me, then we can't do that together. So I'm going to be able to show them all to you. Oh, her wings are so big I can barely get her out of the little box. What a great problem to have. Okay, and she again has that little stake at the end, so that goes into the ground, so then she can sit up and play her harp. Look at that, her little hands. You see that? They're perfectly placed to hold those harp strings. Okay, so we'll put our little harp player right over there by the harp. All right. What else do we have? Okay. A few new pieces too. I think I put this in the carousel. This is a beautiful little pathway lattice. It has the bench wedged in underneath it. Isn't that pretty? So I'm going to put that at the end of the walkway that we created. Okay, so I know I'm a little messy here right now, so let's clean this up some. So we'll put this here. Is that that's going to be a proper place for it at the end of the walkway. Let's place some of those larger designs. Maybe something really prominent, because this is a piece of wood, like I said, from those craftsmen who recycled some of the wood from the last hurricane here in Florida. So either our home could go there, or our windmill could go there. Let's see. What other large pieces would be prominent there? Okay, so I realize I'm kind of floating around here a little bit, but I'm waiting for it to come to me what piece should go in this area. Because I believe that, fairy gardens sort of come together as they're supposed to. So sometimes taking a break if you don't have the right layout or setup, or, right is a little ambiguous, right? So whatever feels right or looks right. Might have to just give it a minute to find its little home. And if you don't like it, you can always change it later. So, okay, I think this one might work. This is in the carousel as well. Love that. So this, I think, would be a beautiful piece to be prominently displayed right here in that center area. So let's build around that. So now that we have, I really like that there. Now that we have a home for it, I'm gonna grab some moss to build up and put around it. What's nice about this moss is that, again, it comes in these larger pieces and you can break them down easily into smaller pieces. But like here, where it's not entirely level, I can actually use the moss to build up the space so that it, kind of just fills in and levels it out. Oh, look at that, perfect. So there you have it. We'll leave our little door open in case there's a little fairy that wants to go inside. Okay, fun. And our companion windmill, I feel like should be close to this somewhere. Maybe on the opposite side of that walkway, I'm not sure. So let's just see. And this we find, maybe that home will go right over here. I think that's nice, kind of guarded by the wood display. This was a piece that was actually part of a beautiful old tree in the backyard. The gentleman that lived in this home prior to us, it was very special to him, and so when it kind of come down, Darren chopped it, and it kind of looks like its own little house here in the front with that front entry on the doorway. So we thought it would be a really beautiful sort of historical piece to have right here, and keep it in the family. So that's what we've done with that piece. And then I feel like something special needs to go up here too, and we'll see what that is as it comes to us. Okay, so for. And then this one, this was one of those pieces of wood that I was telling you about, just an organic piece that one of the craftsmen saved for us, and I love that. So I might put a little succulent in the middle to kind of protect it and let it wrap around. It just looked to me like it belongs here in our fairy garden. So we'll have to see where it finds a home as we continue. Okay, so let's see. Our love and believe. We need some really good places for these. Maybe at the base. Maybe they'll end up being through here. It could even end up being part of our gate. We have a nice little gate that will be on the walkway up to the house. So maybe the believe and the love will be part of that structure as well. Part of the fun is just letting it all come together. Okay, maybe I'll move that swing that I just had found at home. Maybe this one will even, maybe this one sits atop. That could be interesting. Maybe love to the side. We'll see. Okay. There are some fun little ponds as well. I don't know that I put this one in the carousel, but if you look at Prenman's, I think is the brand name on many of the items that I'm using in here, I believe they also have a little koi fish garden, and I saw some other ones too. This one has the koi, but there I think are a few little different themes to the ponds that you can find, which is really neat. Okay, let's just fill in this little area. Some of these are not coming to me yet. So, let's see. Let's settle our little moss back here. Settle some in here in the corner. And as this could go on for hours, I may end up just posting some pictures of the final as we move through the day here. But certainly if you want to hang out with me, you can do that as well, as I'm going to keep working as long as I can. We've got some other shows coming up this afternoon. So if it's up to me, I'd just play in the fairy garden all day long. Oh, don't step on the fairy. Okay, let's do a little bit more filling in here and here. And we'll get that little pool finished. Like I said, I'm using the moss to fill in around that little white gate. And then it's a really nice touch to get some little LED lights and let those kind of dance around the edge of, oh, you can't see the edge of that fence. You can see it as it wraps around the edge of the fence right here. So I picked up some that were battery operated, and you could probably find some on Amazon. I didn't put these in the carousel, but this is actually a little set of LED lights, and then it has just plastic, a beautiful sort of fairy green wrapping on it. And I love the look of that. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just trellis that around the edge of the fence. And so in the evening time, we can light that up because it's self-standing with the battery operation and those little LEDs. And then Victoria made us a nice little welcome to Fairyland. So we'll put that. Oops, might have to steady that with some of those little rocks. Maybe even through here. There's a breathing sign. Yeah, we'll find a home for that. where she can, oh, that's so pretty, where she can be playing that harp. So let's do. Nice. So again, I'm just poking it right into the ground because it has that little stake in the bottom. And it's not going in right there, so let's move it around a little. Let's find you a home. Kind of want it up there. There we go. And our little harp player right next to it. Wrapping her little arms into her harp. Oh, a little closer. Oh, that's half the fun, isn't it? Just to let them place them right there. Oh, can you see that? Oh, I love it. And her little fairy wings off to the side. Love that. Okay, so now we have our little water scene. We have our little flute player. We have our little fairy home right here, welcoming fairies to come in. I feel like this little space needs something, so let's see what that could be. And the rest of our fence can go into place as well. So I picked up, that fence is down in the carousel if you want to find it. Definitely gives a nice little frame to your fairy garden. So you're putting it around. Love that. And that might be a nice place for the entrance to that little fence. I kind of like that fence right there too, the opening. Okay, it's a little bit rambling as it sort of moves here with some of the smaller chunks and pieces that I have of the stones, but I kind of like that irregularity. There's something sort of whimsical about having that irregularity to it. So super fun there. Okay, let's go back and fill in some of this space. We'll find where our Welcome to Fairyland sign belongs. And back in the back here, you can probably see, I'm not sure if you can or not, some of the darker green. And what I did is, because that's so far back, I just decided that that stands the test of time with weather a little bit better just by putting in the solid green turf. So that's just a little artificial 12 by 12 piece of a green turf that I ordered from Amazon to go in the back. And I'll just kind of blend that in by putting some of the other moss on top of it. Okay. And then the stairs, like I said, Darren actually cemented these in place for me a while back so that they stay right in place, which is really nice. And then look at that. I just can't believe how that's grown from like this teeny little tiny sprig into this full-on colossal succulent. If we wrap it around here, love that. It's sort of nestling in place. Okay, so got a little filling in to do here in the side. And again, you can just kind of break that apart and set that in place. That's going to need a little working. That may actually be a project for me over the next couple days. So, but a lot of it's coming together. Can you see? And I think at this point, I'm going to leave some unfinished areas to go back to, but we can start filling in our main little play area here in the center. Hi, Peanut. You're just in time. Want to help me fill it in? Sure. Sure. So Victoria's joining us. So you were asking me earlier why I put this so far back. It's so that we could see the whole fairy garden. See? Okay, so how about I trade you places?
Okay.
And you can work on placing whatever you want wherever you want.
Okay.
And I'll just fill in some of the corners and edges that still have to be done. Okay. Here's some of the larger pieces. The swing needs a place. The flowers need a place. And that windmill needs a place too. I haven't found a place for that yet. That's a good idea. What do you think? What do you think of that moss? How'd I do?
Pretty good.
Pretty good. It still needs to get filled in quite a bit. I can't believe how big this is. Look at that. Do you remember the size of that when we first planted it?
Yeah.
It was like that. It's crazy. Okay. The swing is leaning a little bit. Maybe I can build it up with some moss on that side. I put our little heart player right there. Cute, huh? Oh, that's a good idea. Little bench on the side of the walkway. I was having indecision with these, with that glove and with the leaf. I don't know how to put them. I feel like I want to put them someplace like really prominent to show them off as newer pieces, but I don't know where. We could maybe build that up so it's not at a slant. Or leave it at a slant, whatever. As long as it doesn't tip over. Okay, coming along slowly. Oh, nice. I fill in a little bit more of that base, huh? And what do you think about that well, too? We need a place for that water well.
Ooh, well.
Right to your right. Oh, sorry, left by your foot. There's so many berries. Right over here.
Oh.
Next to the windmill. I can't believe how green this moss is. I thought that plant would really stick out because it's so green. It almost just blends right in. Because that moss is so green. I feel like the water should end at the water, right? Like the pond, maybe at the end of the stream. Oh, love it. Yeah, do it. Love it. Let me see what Victoria just did. That pretty little area. She just placed this little piece. Nice. Good finishing touches there, Peanut. I like that little slide too. Okay, how many fairies do we have to put into this garden? Quite a few. Okay. Oh dear. Here's another little harp player who's holding her own little harp. I'm just going to put them here and then you can choose where to put them. There's a little fairy with a wishing ball.
Look, it's water, but the blue faded off.
Oh, the blue faded off. Oh, so she could be by the... Yeah, that's nice. Little turtle. And... Oh, I like this little pensive fairy. She's just there. This one has a little butterfly. Aw, she's holding the Bible. Here's a little water with birdies.
I already have one of
Look at that little baby turtle. Two. I think we might have 3 actually. I may have seen another one because they come in some of those sets. So some of those new sets that I ordered, it might be in there. There's another little flute player. Oh, these are so cute. 2 little besties. Yeah, we've got some serious fairies to place all around here. Love it. Yes, isn't that cool? I like her with her little leg hanging down too. This reminds me of you, Victoria. There's that one with her little leg hanging down. She needs to be sitting on something. She reminds me of you with your long legs. Okay, so sometimes less is more, right? So maybe we'll pull out some of the items that were in here before and just go with less because we still have a lot. So awesome. So we're getting to it. Let me just double check and see if there's any questions. And I'm going to move through some things too so that you can see some of the items in the carousel as Victoria's putting her finishing touches on it. So let me just again highlight for you. The Pretman's design is the one that you're seeing here. Point to that little fairy castle in the center. I'm just going to pull it up so in case you want to order it, that little Pretman is this one, that one. And here's our little fence that I'm highlighting now. That's the little white fence that's going around. Love the little harp player, and she comes along with a swing set. And then the twig and the flower sign. Where is that one? The one that says fairies and gnomes. Have you put it in there yet? That moss sticks to your foot, doesn't it? I know. Well, I highlighted it. It's in our fairy garden somewhere. So you can find it. And the little mailbox too. Maybe they're tucked away. Oh my goodness, it's gonna be like hide and seek in the fairy garden. That's awesome. The little well I put in there too and highlighted. That super moss, like I said, I think I got a 3-pound box. And then there's those little artificial mounds, and those are great for the edges. Again, here's just a little look at what one of those looks like, but those are great to kind of fill in corners. And there is the little windmill, so I'm highlighting that in the carousel now. That's the piece that's back here in the corner. And then now I'll highlight for you the Believe, which is sitting down here. Wow, there's so much going on the screen. I hope that you can see all of that. And then here's Love up in the corner. And that's most of, I think everything I put in the carousel for you. What else should we show off, Victoria? Okay, so I look what you've done. Fill in there with the flowers. Or the little girl with the butterfly or the dragonfly there. Nice. Oh, it all comes together toward the end, doesn't it? When you put the fairy on the slide and the. Here's one little swing too. We have
2 swings.
I think we have 2 swings. Yep. Oh, that's cool. One on either side. Nice. And then I'll have to go back in and fill in like behind it with the moss. Sometimes those wings can help them stay in place so they don't fall off their little swings. And then you can get really cool and creative with your fairy garden too. I mean, we have some seashells that we picked up from the beach, and sometimes over the years we've added it to different little areas. You get painted some of the seashells. Oh, there's the mailbox. Nice. You put it out front next to the gate. Good thinking. That would be an appropriate place for it, for sure. Looking good. Looking good. So we still have some work to do tidying it up, but I think so far so good.
Can the river be pink?
If you want to take all of the blue out of it. Or what if we make a second pink?
No, I want to take the blue out and put the blue in here.
Okay.
That would be cool.
Okay. Yeah.
And then make the river pink.
Why not? It's a fairy garden. You can have a pink river. Got it? All right. I'm going to start getting rid of some of our junk, and you can work on the river. The pink river. The fairies. Oh, look, there's a doggy. Okay.
Oh, you know what?
What? Oh, you know what? I need to take this one out too. This is another walkway piece. You could grab some scissors. You okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. This will be perfect because I think this is a match. And I think I put it in there from Twig and Flower, the miniature garden fairy walkway. I think this is a match for the one that we already have too. Yep, it's the same. So that is a must for your fairy garden because it leads the path to wherever you want it to go. So in this case, we will put it right alongside. I like that. You like that?
Yeah.
Just extends that walkway right down to the little play area. I like that. I have a little viewing area. Like the mom or the au pair fairies can watch the the kid fairies playing out here. Oh my, oh my. Just got our little hands on there. Oops. I'll let you place those wherever you want. Dallas, did you come out to say hello? So Dallas is joining us for the fairy garden. So he knows this is a place that he never gets to go, but I'll just let him say hello. Say hi, Dallas. Let's not hold him in the fairy garden.
Wait, can I hold him now?
Here he comes.
Dallas,
Okay, so this probably is going to conclude our work on the fairy garden today. Obviously, it needs a little more when it comes to the finishing touches, but we're definitely getting there slowly but surely. And if you have any questions, certainly find me. I'm glad to answer them for you. If you want to see any of the items that are in the carousel, you can do that as well, and find them there. And I'd love to see pictures of what you do with your fairy garden when you put it all together. And you know, again, like I was saying earlier, I think a lot of the work is in the pre-setup, right, where you're you know, finding your space, deciding where you might want you have a, you know, pink waterway like Victoria's doing right now. A lot of it is putting that base down, spreading out, in this case, the moss that we put down, and then finding what organic pieces you may want to use, or recycle and reuse. In this case, like I said, we put a cement little staircase here in place with these little tiles. But once you've got that sort of structure laid out, then that's when the fun really begins. And you can get really creative with it. Kind of fun, huh? Do you remember the fairy gardens from the Girl Scouts?
yeah.
What was your favorite part about that?
Those weren't as cool as
Those weren't as cool as the one here. Yeah. Well, we had a lot of girls working on those all together. Now we can do it. However, we want it just you and me.
George, some help.
Yep. The end of those. I think that there's too much water for that pond.
Yeah.
It's going to be overflowing.
I'm just gonna keep them.
We might have to divide that pond into two, or find other crafty uses for those blue pebbles. So these are just little glass beads because they look like water. We use them in here for our little water walkway. Cool. Okay, let's get some of that dirt out before you put the pink water in there. I started to get the blower out, but then I realized if I blow this around, I'll blow everything away. Okay, so we're gonna keep on working on our little fairyland here. But I think and I hope that you've gotten some idea of how much fun it is to make a fairy garden, and how you can get all of that great pieces from Amazon to do it as well, and build it and keep building it, right? And redesign and play and have fun. So we'll see you next time. I think my phone is frozen. I might have to just stay here for an indefinite amount of time. You okay?
Yeah. Now stop eating the dead grass or whatever.
Oh, gosh, you have moss on your face.
Dad, you got moss everywhere. You have moss everywhere.